victims. Now, when I became the county attorney, well, let me back up and say this. A child sex case, a special victims case, is among the most depleting case that anyone can deal with. The fact scenarios are so harmful, the details are so lurid and depressing, and the impact on victims is so catastrophic that there's really only so much that one person can do without just completely going numb inside. And once you go numb inside, it doesn't matter how good you are, because you lose the real qualification that you need to be a good prosecutor, and that is the sensitivity and the judgment that it takes. It reminds me when Chernobyl in Ukraine had its meltdown. The Soviets, they told many Soviet soldiers if they'd get on the roof of Chernobyl and shovel the nuclear waste for 20 minutes, they would relieve them of their 2-year commitment to serve in the army. And there's you can watch videos on YouTube of these Soviet soldiers just shoveling this stuff like they won the lottery. The problem is 30 days later, they were all dead. So it wasn't much of a deal for them. Well, when I took office, there was an SVU team that had 6 lawyers in it that dealt with every one of these difficult cases. And I looked at that and I thought, you know what? Number one, we need to spread the muck around so that we have more expertise, so that we're not behind the 8 ball if people leave. And so if you know, it just makes more sense to have more people who are trained as special victims prosecutors. So I got permission to hire more lawyers. The county commission allowed me to hire 15 more lawyers, which was a game changer, because that allowed me to increase the number of special victims lawyers that I had from 6 until 9. And it allowed me to put 3 lawyers in every trial, in front of every trial judge in Utah County, which kind of eliminated the need for a special victims unit. Before there were 6 lawyers that were special victims that served in 9 courts, and then there were a whole bunch of general felonies that served in the 9 courts. What I did was I eliminated both of those teams, and I created 9 teams of 3 lawyers in each court, and guaranteeing that every team had a special victims trained lawyer in it. And then they get the special victims cases, and then their job is to train the other lawyers in those trial teams on how to do special victims cases. And so the reason why I disbanded it is the way it was, because I want to increase the number of the amount of specialization that we have in the office itself. I want to spread the muck around, and it allowed us to have these 9 trial teams. Now, let me emphasize, it didn't change one bit the way law enforcement does its job. They still investigate the same. We have liaisons that go to those special victims task forces. Nothing has changed in that regard. And I think everyone will see, it made a lot of people nervous, because quite frankly, changing a criminal justice system makes people nervous because they're so used to the way things are. But people will see in time, I am confident that it was really the right move.